Another social influence is reference group, and this one's kind of interesting. Reference group is an actual or imaginary individual or group that has significant effect on a person's evaluations, aspirations, or behavior. We did some research with a colleague on mentoring, and we found something very similar related to this. We called them radio pole mentors, where people have an impact on others' behavior even though they've never met. So I have never met Warren Buffett, but he's kind of a mentor to me because of what I've read about him has influenced my life, and I want to be like Warren Buffett, filthy rich. I see that as very attractive. So a reference group is either a person, imaginary or real, that has an impact on your behavior. It can be either positive or negative. And so opinion leaders are people that have information that we want. We look to them for advice on specific decisions. So if you're going to buy a car, you haven't bought a car, you probably know somebody who knows something about cars, right? You go talk to them for information on cars. Or if I want to buy a cell phone and I don't know much about cell phones, I'll go talk to somebody about cell phones who knows talking about cell phones. We know who those people are, and they influence our behavior. Mentors are people that we look to for advice. Actual mentors are people that provide access to contacts and resources in exchange for the privilege of helping somebody worthwhile improve in life. It's called the generative instinct. And then there are reference groups. In high school we called them cliques. And these are groups that we use to define our identity. And there's three kinds of groups. There's membership groups. These are the people we want to be like. And again, in a consumer culture, we many times use products to show our affinities, our personalities. So if I am a member of a membership group, we might wear the same kind of clothes. For example, who here is a student? Who here has a backpack? That's kind of like the student uniform, isn't it, right? So it's just one of the ways of affirming my student identity is not having money and wearing a backpack. We aspire to be Warren Buffett, but right now I'm refilling my water bottle, the Fiji bottle that I picked up for free, and filling it with tap water so people will think I can afford Fiji water. So this is the group that you want to be with. This is that social belongingness. Then there are aspirational groups. Those are people that you want to be like. And again, many times we use consumption choices to help us get there. I am not a very good athlete. I know this is going to come as a shock to folks. It's not just that I have bad fine motor coordination, it's that I'm a klutz. But if I wanted to aspire, I might, buy Tiger Woods golf clubs, or I might buy Curry's running shoes or basketball shoes because they'll make me shoot basketball better. But looking for people who are elite and then emulating them both in behavior and in using purchases to support that helps me achieve that. And then we also have dissociative groups, and those are also important because they show us what we don't want to be like, and that also affects our choices. I would never wear a plaid backpack because only losers wear plaid backpacks. Does anybody here have a plaid backpack? Not now. I'm going to go spill some ink on it. But again, we know who they are, we know we don't want to be like them, and we're careful in our choices, our consumption choices and our behavior choices, not to buy or do things that would make us feel like we are associated with those groups. Again, all powerful influences on behavior as we're going through this process, satisfying our needs, determining our alternatives. Another influence is social class. Social class are relatively permanent homogeneous divisions in society. Homogeneous means similar, to which people sharing similar values, interests can be grouped. And social class varies from from country to country, culture to culture. In this country, people talk about upper class, middle class, and lower class. And in this country, the determinants of class are largely not how much money you have, but how you got your money. So the truly upper class got their money the old-fashioned way. They inherited it. And so whether I have a salary job or an hourly job determines my social class. When I was just starting out in my career, my next door neighbor was a garbage collector who was hourly, and I was salaried, and he made about 5 times as much money as I did, but I was salaried, and he was hourly. Social class. And then education. The higher the education, the higher your class. So good news for you guys, you are about to step into a higher class. People like yourselves. Other countries, criteria are different. In some countries, it matters who your parents were. If you were royalty or not royalty. Just depends. And again, many times the socially consumed products that we use are determined or reflect our social class. So the kind of car that you buy is a reflection of social class. And again, if I'm aspirational, if I want to be perceived as upper class, I might buy what I perceive to be an upper class car. Lower class, where we live is very important. And that's a big determinant, is if I own my own house, if I'm renting, if I'm couch surfing, if I'm setting up a tent on Division Street, those are all indicators as to where I am.